Hey guys, so remember June is all about budgeting, and so I'm going to give you a direct, go through or run through of how to set up your budget if you're not already up to date with setting up your budget. The Money Talk Show is all about helping you to win with your finances. So I'm just going to put up some stuff on the whiteboard, and you can take some notes. But I'm going to also put together document online that you can see and do a physical run through, because a lot of the times managing your finances is all about seeing what's there. So we're going to have a graphical representation of the actual figures, something that we won't be able to do on the whiteboard. We could do it, but it's not going to look as pretty. So this is how I'd want you to map out your budget on a monthly basis. Remember, the number one thing that you need to do when it comes down to managing your finances after you fix your mindset is to actually have a written budget. All right, so we go into the rules of the budgeting, and we spoke about the 50, 30, 20 rule. All right, so the 50% is definitely going to be taking care of your needs, which are your four walls, which we'll go through. Then the 30% is definitely wanting to be taking care of your wants. Life is just for living, right? And of course, 20%, 10 to 20%, depending on how your debt ratio is. Definitely savings / investments. All right, perfect. So what are your needs really and truly? Your needs are the four walls, as we say, utilities. So we're talking about housing, and some people are renting, some people have a mortgage. But one thing I want to say about whichever one you do, renting is not necessarily bad. Having a mortgage is not necessarily bad or good. It all depends on your situation, because if you buy a house before you're ready, or if you buy a house when you're in debt, a house can be a curse instead of a blessing. So that's just one thing to be mindful of, right? So cover housing, then want to cover food. Then we'll also cover transportation, because that's very important. If you work, or if you're gainfully employed, or if you have a business of some sort, you're going to need to figure out how you're going to transport yourself. And when we're talking about transportation, we are talking more than just the cost of gas, but I'll give you a breakthrough on that. And of course, finally, your utilities. All right, so on the housing, we're gonna put rents or mortgage, depends on where you are. Food, that's self-explanatory. Transportation, we're gonna be talking about gas. We're gonna be talking about car insurance. All right. We're also gonna be talking about repairs. Right, and we are going to be talking about car payment if you have one. Right, so you see that transportation as one of your needs under the four walls is multifaceted, and we have to budget for all of these things concerning the car. And depending on your situation, you can definitely think of other things that may concern your transportation needs. Do you have one car? Do you have two cars? And of course, your utilities. And we're going to be talking about lights / JPS in the context of Jamaica, your hydro, or your water bill or sewage. And definitely other utilities might be, do you live in a gated community? Do you pay maintenance fees, etc.? And of course, it's not a utility per se, but I'm going to include life insurance under your needs, right? Because we're talking about budgeting, and you're budgeting for your income. Your income is your most important wealth building tool, and life insurance or life insurance products protect your income. So we're going to put it under need. And then life insurance. We have to budget for all these things. Great. Under your wants now, we're going to have things like, just segment it here. No, it's not the neatest. But under your wants, we're talking about entertainment. And this might entail whatever you like to do. It might include some food. It might include a country club membership. It might include movies. Whatever your entertainment is, you know what it is, right? And of course, we are going to be looking at other, expenses that you may have. Maybe it is that you have subscriptions. Maybe it is that you have staff that you have to pay. Maybe it is that you have things like loans. It's not a want by any stretch of the imagination, but this is how we categorize them. Your wants fall under anything else that's not your four walls or your five walls, including the life insurance. And then some liabilities. Credit cards, let's not leave them off. And you use a credit card because you wanted something before you could actually afford it, so it falls under wants, right? And of course, we'd also want to put other miscellaneous things here. Other miscellaneous things that you need to budget for, stuff like your kids' tuition, education, seminars, conferences, you name it. Also, if you're religious or if you're philanthropic, definitely a tithe or giving back. And of course, your savings and investments, that's self-explanatory. When you're just starting out, you want to build up that emergency fund really quick. And also, you have your nest egg, which is your primary savings. And investments, instruments, another 10%. You want to do stocks, equities, bonds. Can put in a little crypto. I'm not big on crypto, but if that's your thing, you know what I mean? Crypto, you have to cast your bread upon many waters, really. So over time, your investment portfolio will, be very diversified. Long-term real estate. And then it goes on and on. You know what you want to invest into. It could be a company, etc. So that just covers basically the first thing that you want to do in the breakdown of your budget. You need to know what exactly are your expenses, and we break them down into your four walls, which we spoke about before. Your definite needs: housing, food, transportation, utilities, life insurance. What are your wants? What are some of the subscriptions that you currently have? Do you have any loans, credit card, miscellaneous things like education, tithing, food, going out, etc. And of course, your savings and investment is all there. Emergency fund for starters. And after you capture emergency fund, you want to be looking into saving money consistently, and then wanting to invest the money. Now, everybody's budget is going to look different. It depends on which stage of the cycle you are in. Obviously, when we use the digital tool and you actually punch in the numbers, if at the end of punching in the numbers the number comes back negative, that means that your expenses are definitely higher than your income, and you need to make some adjustments. You need to cut back. We are in a recession right now, so you need to cut back, or you need to start to pay debt more aggressively, which is what we're going to look at in another video with the debt snowball. All right, and of course, investments are self-explanatory. So guys, thank you so much for looking into this episode of the Money Talk Show. It's really just to really know what your immediate expenses are, and then after seeing this, now we can actually put in the numbers and crunch the numbers and rearrange the numbers accordingly, so that our family will win with money. All right, thank you for tuning in, guys. One love and respect.